Dream with me, let your mind explore all the things we were created for. Possibilities.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pretty. If you are new here, welcome. If you've been here, welcome back, baby. Today I'm doing a sit down, just a check-in, a quick check-in. I hope this video is gonna be short. I don't want it to be long, but I'm doing just a quick check-in with you guys on how I have been feeling these past couple of weeks. I'm filming this on the second week of February. Since starting the year, I started the year very slow. I wanted to get into things because I took leave the first 2 weeks of Jan, and then I came back home because I was home, and then I came back here when the schools were reopening, and I started my year when things were very overwhelming. And I want to share like how I have been feeling. I have my book here. If I'm looking down, just know I wrote some notes. I have been thinking a lot about how overwhelming it is to start the new year. I've been so overwhelmed when we started in Jan because it seemed like everyone knew what they wanted and everyone was writing goals, and I'm normally that person that writes my goals and I get into it that's why I always take leave in Jan, because I always feel like I need to start, I need to write my goals, I need to plan my year. And this year I felt a little bit overwhelmed, mainly because, and I started feeling very anxious in my sleep, and I felt like I was not doing enough, and I was just bringing more goals into the goals that I didn't achieve last year, and asking myself questions like, how am I gonna do it? There's not enough time to do all these things, and it was just pressure that I was putting on myself. And I had to have a sit down with myself and have a conversation with myself as to why I'm feeling this way, because I've never been that person that I don't put pressure on myself. I've never been that person. I've never been that person that like compares myself to other people. But this year I felt a little bit overwhelmed by the things that I want. I normally feel like I don't deserve some things in my life, and I think that's where it stems from. When I had that conversation with myself, that's what I discovered, or the reason why I haven't accomplished some of these things. It's because I don't feel like I deserve them. And it's because I'm gonna do a quick backstory. I have had so many bad news in my past that I feel like even if I set myself to accomplish something, it's gonna bounce back to me and I'm gonna hurt myself. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, I'm not gonna achieve what I want to achieve because I don't feel like, and I don't believe sometimes that I do deserve some of the things that I set myself for. A quick backstory. I'm sorry about that, guys. I got a call and I had to pause. But I was saying that I've been feeling this way. Like, I've been feeling like I'm not worthy of things because of my past. Things that I've experienced in my past, the no's that I got, the rejections that I got made me get to a point in my life where I felt like I'm not worthy of certain things. That's why it's so hard for me to, like, I self-sabotage myself. If I get to a point where I feel like now I'm gonna get it, I somehow self-sabotage myself because of the no's, and it's because I don't want to feel that pain again, you know. Quick backstory: when I was in grade 12, my mom got sick very quickly. Like, she was so sick, in and out of hospital, and it happened so fast. In a space of 5 months, my mom passed away. But when I was the following year, when I got my marks, someone stole my statement. They stole my statement the day I got it. They stole it, which delayed my registration process and all that. And I'd go to university, go to Department of Education, try to explain my story, but it didn't make sense. And as I was going all through that, that's when my mom passed away. And I decided to pause school for that year, and I took a gap year. But I did go to school because my brother forced me to go to school actually. And in between that, I passed sharp, like I was good in school. And finally, when I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna have a purpose now, I'm gonna like live my life. Right after that, I was unemployed for 4.5 years, I think. For 4.5 years, I got contracts. I worked at retail stores. I started businesses. I got every no that you can think of. I got no's and rejection every single time. My business failed. Two of my businesses failed. And it almost felt like I was not deserving of good things until I got my now job. I had to sit down with myself. I sat down with myself. I was so tired of feeling that way. I was feeling like I'm going through the rabbit hole of darkness, and I didn't want that for myself. I was just like, no, I came out from this. I don't want to go back to feeling this way. I need tools to cope through this. And the first thing that I did, I'm gonna look down because I have my notes down. These are the things that I wrote down for myself. The first thing that I decided to do is to always have empathy for myself, to always have empathy towards myself, to give myself enough grace that I give to other people. People will come to me with all sorts of problems, like your friends. I mean, you know, like how life is. Your friends will come to you and they'll be discouraged and they'll feel down. You'll be so empathetic and you encourage them and motivate them, but you can't do that for yourself. And I looked at it and I was just like, that can't be life. The second thing that I decided to do when I was going through all these emotions is that I decided to let go and let God. After I did that, guys, I can tell you now, I felt so free. I felt so free. I felt like a huge weight has been lifted off me because I felt like I have been going, trying to figure out things, sorting out things. Last year for me was hectic. I felt like I was doing too much to get the things that I wanted done. And when I started this year, I was just like, God, like, I don't want to live like this. I want to be soft emotionally and mentally. And I know you guys saw it on my vision board when I said I want to live soft. I didn't mean material things. I just meant emotionally, I want to be nurtured by God. Like, I don't want to constantly think how I'm going to solve situations and problems and all the time. I'm tired. And it's because I'm doing God's job. When you do God's job, you get very exhausted. And that's how I've been feeling for the couple of weeks. I felt like I was so tired of trying to make up, trying to do this. If this doesn't train, I pick this up, I bet here, I do this. It gets very exhausting to do God's job. It's not easy. Sometimes I struggle. Sometimes I go back and forth with what I need to do. But I've decided that I've prayed about it. I've told God how I feel. I've laid down my goals. And I've actually achieved one of my goals this quarter because I'm making like quarterly goals. Like I'm drawing up my goals in quarters. So I've achieved one of my goals and it felt so easy to do it. I didn't have any hassle doing it because I wasn't doing it on my own strength. And I'm grateful that it got to that point where I felt exhausted and I went back to God, you know. So yeah, that's the other thing that I've been doing. Let's move on to the third one. The tool that I've been using is that I went to TikTok and my girls were talking about setting your goals quarterly. This helps you if you've been feeling like me, feeling very overwhelmed, like you have a lot of goals that you need to accomplish. You can only do as much per 3 months, and then the other 3 months you'll do something, and then the other 3 months you'll do something. I have categorized my goals into my finances, my social life, my business, my mental health. I have categorized my goals and I can only do what I can for these 3 months. I don't feel overwhelmed anymore. I feel like when you write them down and you all see that huge list of goals, you feel like that you feel like the way I was feeling, like how are you going to do all these things? But now I feel a little bit better. I've scratched out one of my goals, which I feel so happy about, and it helps you focus on the now. Like with my YouTube now, I only focus on taking out videos and being consistent. The bigger goal of getting 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year will happen, but for now I have decided to just shed it a bit and focus on the consistency and focus on the now, like the steps that I'm gonna take now, as opposed to what, like the bigger goal that I want, if that makes sense. I hope I explained that right. And then the other thing that I have decided to do this year, just to get myself like emotionally okay, is I've decided to reward myself. I've decided to reward myself for every single thing that I accomplish, whether it's big or small. If I feel like it's worth rewarding, I'm gonna reward myself. And this is mainly because last year, December, I had the best time of my life. I had the best time of my life because I felt like I was rewarding myself for the work that I did the whole year. And when I sat down, I was like, there was nothing that I did. And I was so happy, guys. I was so happy. And I remember asking myself, why am I so happy? Because there's nothing out of the ordinary that I'm doing. I'm just visiting family. I'm around family all the time. We're going to normal like places like your parks. We're visiting family members. But because it almost felt like, one, I was rewarding myself, two, I was intentional about being happy. That's how I want to live my life this year. I want to be intentional about my happiness. I also want to reward myself a little bit more. If I'm doing something like now, if I finish doing this vlog and I feel like I can take myself out for lunch, I want to do that a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is reward myself a little bit more. It'll also help me live my life a little bit more, like go out more, like enjoy life, be intentional about enjoying life. And I did that in December and I had the best time of my life. Like December was so nice. It was one of the best Decembers I had. In closing, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna put up the code where I got the code. I got it from Candice from Twitter. It goes like this. She wrote something like this. She said, God didn't remove the Red Sea, He parted it. In essence, the obstructions we face and fears we pledged with cannot compare to the power of the Waymaker. Victory is inevitable. And that for me was everything that I needed in that moment when I was feeling very down and out. And when she said victory is inevitable, I just thought, like, do you understand that God parted the sea when He saw that His kids were struggling to cross over? So God will make a way irregardless, guys. Like, victory is inevitable. I have nothing to explain after that. Victory is inevitable. So if you're struggling like me, you feel like you have been self-doubting yourself, or you've been too hard on yourself because you don't feel worthy like I was feeling, just know that victory is inevitable. You'll get there, you know. I hope someone takes from this. I hope I made sense, because sometimes I say a lot but I don't make a lot of sense. People like saying that, like I like explaining too much, but I hope like I made sense. I'm gonna close off this for now, and then we'll have a chat again. I don't know when, just a check-in. But for now, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I love you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.